What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Per usual, I've got something special for you right here, and as you can tell from the case, how cool it is. I'm sorry, you don't read Mandarin? Okay, but how about this? Is that helpful? It's not. Oh, I'm sorry. There might be someone in the comments, ooh, it's Cantonese. Steve from Gamers Nexus would be like, I know the difference. Now, most likely I've already included in the thumbnail what this is, which is why you clicked on the video, but let's dig in. Yeah, so I'm sure you can tell this case is not from around here. However, I did buy it on Newegg. Case is a little on the light side. Not necessarily a bad thing. Now, at first glance, you might be like, Nicholas, what's the big deal? But take a look at this. This is pretty cool. And that's not just some vinyl decal, that's actually on there. Now, like I said, I did buy this on Newegg. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but I do have this memory that the price that I paid would definitely be too much for the case alone. Definitely paying for the artwork. Now, Gundams were never really my thing. When it came to games, I was always more of a Mech Warrior guy. But it doesn't matter if it's Gundams, Mech Warrior, or Jaegers. If you're into big robots, you like big robots. So let's dig in and see what this case is all about. Now, obviously, you notice the solid front panel. It is metal, not plastic. And we do have vents along the side, which I've seen some work like that well and some that haven't. Time will tell once we get everything set up. Up top, you have a power switch, restart, and an LED switch, even though this doesn't come with any fans. Microphone, headphone, a couple USBs, and a USB 3. We do have a magnetic mesh panel up top, and it does support two more 120mm fans. They do appear to be offset towards the glass for cable management. The artwork has a bit of a cohesive strip from the front, which follows around to the side. The back is very normal, though there is something worth mentioning. The glass panel is flush with the corner here, and while there's a slight rim, we'll call it flush across the base. There is a gap right here, though. There does seem to be rubber feet on the back side of the glass where it screws in, but there's no reason for this to be here. Maybe they just didn't have their manufacturing tolerances in place. People always warn about negative pressure systems, which is where you have more exhaust fans than intake fans because you can get dust in the system. This is a scenario where you could get dust in your system. That being said, however, your intake doesn't seem to have a dust filter anyway, so our power supply shroud is perforated, which I guess is okay. I prefer solid. There are 3 pass-throughs for cables, which is nice. This cable management, though, let's take the back panel off first. So this is something I don't love. There is virtually no space between the back of the motherboard mount and that back panel. It's funny because they put things like little cable management grommet up here, here, and here, but there's no depth for a cable. Now there is this channel that runs up here, which is nice, but we would need 1/2 inch to 1 inch back here. That's going to be a problem for cable management, and I already don't like it. My only hope is that our power supply has those flat cables that we can run flat up and over into our CPU power. The other thing is, all of these, it's going to be tight, but we need to run up into this channel to get out of the way because there's no way we can have all of this bouncing around our case. Down below there is a hard drive bay if that's your thing. But something else to note, there's no air filter here for the power supply. The only filter is this magnetic one up here, and those are usually exhaust fan. Kind of defeats the whole purpose. And lastly, it doesn't look like you can just pull this front off. It looks like it's held together by 4 screws, 2 silver ones on this side and 2 black ones on this side, which we will have to unscrew to take this panel off to put in our front fans. Alright, let's start with the pros. At first glance, the case feels light but not flimsy. It came in one piece, it's not dinged up or bent, and the artwork is on there and has some pretty decent quality. Like I said, if you're buying the case, you're buying it for this. Now for the cons. No meaningful air filters, clumsy attachment of the front, cumbersome I/O cables, and 0 space for cable management across the back. That's probably my least favorite. Everything else I can work around, but this, you should have space back here for cables, along with fan RGB boxes and stuff like that. and that's just simply not an option in this build. But that's just my initial take. It doesn't mean anything until I actually get in and do the build. If you're not familiar with my format, you know that's going to be the next video, where we actually do the build, we talk about how difficult that build was, and we look at the final product, which hopefully turns out really nice. What's going to be in this? Well, I'd love to tell you, but you kind of have to show up for the next video. So don't miss it, and while you're at it, like, subscribe, find me on all the social media under Fearless Fragger, and look for this beautiful face. But that's it for now. This one is at the very least going to be interesting, and we'll find out in the next video. I'll see you then. Bye.